Life is uncertain, but you can emerge stronger, wiser, and more successful from the fire than ever before. Different experiences will define your life. There are good experiences and bad experiences. There are days when you feel on top of the world and moments when you feel down and out. Life is not constant, and this makes it beautiful. No one is immune to bad experiences. Often, they strike us at the wrong time. You get a divorce notice on the day of your promotion. You had an accident on your birthday that left you paralyzed. The residual effects of such drastic effects can have lifelong implications on our life. With all its bad experiences, the crisis strengthens us and makes us better. What is important is how you receive a bad experience. It is not the crisis, but how we respond to a bad situation that makes a difference. Positivity heals the worst emotional pains. It provides us the vision to see the light in the darkness and gives us the strength to grow as a person. It's important to keep things in perspective, understanding that failure is the biggest teacher. It gives us a point to see the harsh realities of life. When we are hit by an ordeal, it teaches us many hard lessons about life. It allows us to see the tacit realities of life that we never acknowledged. It exposes us to the true face of life. Therefore, we should not get upset by a bad experience and rather see it as a chance to overcome our weaknesses. Losing your money after a stock exchange crash is not your bad luck. Rather, it is a hint to your lack of insights into the business. Similarly, a failure in a romantic relationship does not mean you are not a good partner. Instead, it calls you to do a reality check and identify the personal lapses that make you a poor partner. Seeing things in perspective is needed to turn a crisis into an opportunity to grow. Take difficulties as a challenge to succeed, keeping it in mind that crisis once struck the most successful people. Being a victim of blindness, it was easier for Helen Keller to accept this ailment and live an ordinary life. But she did not let her illness come in the way of her ambitions. As we know, she is the first blind person to earn a bachelor's degree. After being diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Stephen Hawking could have lived an anonymous life. But he fought back and became an eminent scientist in space science. Despite all the life hurdles, these wonderful people were resolute to change their destiny at any cost. Instead of quitting in the face of adversary, they changed their lives with their winning attitude. Be positive. Positivity gives us the strength to grow from a bad experience and makes us a more balanced person. Remember that everything that happens in our life happens for good. What matters is how we approach those experiences and change our lives. Rather than dwelling on your breakup with your partner, see it as emotional growth. Similarly, take your recent termination from a job to find a better employment opportunity. To make a positive transition from an ordeal, you must develop a positive attitude to fuel you on the road to success. Look up to miserable people. Life is not kind to everyone, so what if you are struck with a bad experience? There are people who are battling a lethal disease. There are people who live on a modest income that only provides them with enough food to survive. And there are people with no one to lend a shoulder to cry on. Just look around the people in your society, and you will know how cruel life can be and how lucky you are to have such a beautiful life. Remember that contentment is the key to a happy life. Stay resilient, because life is not constant. It keeps changing with every passing moment. The surrounding situations change constantly. No matter how often you have failed, your chances of success are always there. So, you should not lose hope even when everything is going wrong in your life. J.K. Rowling is a good example of how you can live your dream resiliently. After a series of personal tragedies, including the loss of her mother and a failed marriage, she was a hapless single mother with no fortune. However, she kept her passion for writing alive and became the most successful novelist of this century. Her rock-solid attitude teaches us that if you are determined to achieve your goal, you will achieve it one day. Learning success tips from people like this can be an invaluable tool. We are what we think. How our mind perceives the world is what we become as human beings. When you believe in bad things, they will affect you eventually. Similarly, when you believe in optimism, good things will happen to you. In philosophical language, it is called the law of attraction, which is based on the belief that good and bad things are an outcome of our mindset. Read the bestseller book, The Secret, and you will know the veracity of this. Keep faith in God. What we think of sometimes as an ordeal is a blessing in disguise by the Almighty. God pushes our lives in a certain way. It is when we see the bad and the good that we become upset with our lives. Successful people have deeply ingrained beliefs in God. They know God has a better plan than what they plan for their life. So, if you have failed a college exam or suffered a personal loss, you should have faith that God will never let you down. It is just His way of showing you the path to personal reforms. Always remember, the negative experiences do more good than bad. They give us the biggest lessons in life. How we perceive those ordeals improves our life or makes it worse. I hope these success tips motivate you to see the good in a crisis and make life worth living.